Thank you for joining us for yet this very special and important interview that we have with the Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, the Honorable Mohabir Anil Nandlall. Minister Nandlall, thank you for joining me.
You're welcome, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Now, Minister, in the last few weeks, we saw an incident take place at the Special Organized Crime Unit involving an attorney at law, Tamika Clark. We know that you have intervened in that matter, and on the day in question, she was released from being detained by SOCU following your intervention. Now, we see today there is a protest outside of SOCU by attorneys at law. What is that about, and what is your response to that?
Thank you very much for raising that very important issue with me because it's gaining some currency in the media on a daily basis. The facts are known and are out there. But before I get into that, permit me to state very clearly that our government is committed to the rule of law. We are committed to obedience of the Constitution. We are committed to ensure that the rights and freedoms of our people are respected and the laws of this land are upheld. I saw it being published in certain quarters that actions that the police, in particular the officers at SOCU, are accused of, there is some suggestion or insinuation in certain quarters that though actions of those type, at least the allegations that are made, are being condoned and somehow authorized by some agency of government or state. Let me say unequivocally that that is absolutely not true. There is no policy of our government that would ever be subversive to the rule of law or the Constitution or the constitutional rights of Guyanese. So this incident occurred a few days ago. Immediately upon its occurrence, I was called by the senior lawyer in the chambers where this young lawyer is employed. I immediately intervened and advised the officers at SOCU to release the young lady from being detained. My intervention predated any intervention by any lawyer in this matter. The lawyers who appeared to have turned up at SOCU arrived after this young lady would have been released from custody. That's the first point I want to make. The second point I want to make, I believe in the presence of those lawyers, or at least while they were at SOCU, I spoke with the young lady and offered her apologies. The incident is regrettable and it should never have occurred. But it has happened and it has to be dealt with. The Guyana police force enjoys functional independence. My intervention, I view it as part of my constitutional role and duty as the legal advisor to the police force on constitutional matters, as well as the lawyer who appears for the police force in order to defend actions when they are filed against the police force. I also saw in certain quarters my intervention being criticized. I believe that as a lawyer and due to the peculiar legal and constitutional role which an attorney general plays in Guyana's legal matrix, he has a duty to intervene in matters of this type, to prevent a transgression, or to pacify or ameliorate the situation if there has been a violation of the law or a complaint in respect of a violation of the law or the Constitution. Moreover, since I have to legally defend these things in the court, and the state has to pay damages, it cannot be my role that I have to remain immobile, witness these transgressions without doing anything to intervene, with a view only to prevent a violation of the Constitution or the law. As I said, I proffered advice. I didn't instruct anyone to do anything. Fortunately, my advice was accepted. So I thought that this was water under the bridge. But obviously, there is an aggressive agenda being pursued, and I am not sure to what end. I received, for example, a pre-action letter from a lawyer purporting to act for Miss Clark. The police officer, as well as the police commissioner, the police officer in question, and the commissioner of police received similar letters. All the letters came to me because the Attorney General represents the police in these types of cases. I received one of such letters in my official capacity. The letter demands from the state compensation in the sum of $50 million. Now, this young lady would not have spent more than 10 minutes under this alleged police restraint. She was not physically incarcerated in a cell. She was simply requested to move from one part of the building, the lower flat, to the upper flat. Apparently her cell phone was taken from her. And based upon her own statement, she was prevented from leaving the building. That period did not exceed, based upon my calculation and upon my assessment of the factual circumstances, did not exceed more than 10 to 15 minutes maximum prior to my intervention. $50 million is being demanded as compensation. While I am in the process of replying to that letter, I am aware of pursuits are being made across the Caribbean to get statements to emanate, to condemn the conduct of the police. A protest now is unfolding. So one must begin to ask whether it is that the young lady's best interest is being pursued, or is there another agenda at play? One would have thought that having engaged the Attorney General and requesting compensation, as exorbitant and as excessive as that demand is, one would have awaited a response. That did not happen. Protests were being planned even before the letter reached me. So I just thought that, I would express those views, as the press has been asking me for a response, to say that it's quite unfortunate that the alleged victim in this unfortunate situation, her interest seemed to become of secondary importance, and other factors seem to be dominating the stage in relation to this matter. I will reply to the letter in due course and engage the lawyer because I believe that this matter should be resolved amicably. But I hope that what is unfolding in the public domain do not continue to militate against the best interest of the young lady who has been allegedly violated.
AG, thank you so much for that statement.